Hi, I'm Travis Monson with Once Upon a Board Game. Today I want to teach you how to play a great little roll and write game called Bravo. This was originally released in Germany under the name Noch Mal So Gut. Again, I apologize if I butcher the pronunciation. But this is a game, it's an expansion to a game that I did another video for called Encore is the English name. And I've got that board right here. And again, this is my own little laminated, blown up version that's a little more colorblind friendly. But this it's a game that we love. I mean, this game, this Encore and Bravo. Bravo is the expanded, kind of advanced version of Encore. And it's awesome. It's our most played game, right? It's a roll and write. I've talked about some of these games in the past where you roll dice and then you write something on your board. It plays quick. It's designed by husband and wife duo Inka and Markus Brand that they've put out a lot of great games that we really like. And this one is it's one that we've played a ton. There's a great smartphone app with this game, and I highly recommend it if you're so inclined. But it's a lot of fun. Like I said, it says on the box 1 to 6 players in about 20 minutes. I've got some thoughts on that. I think you can play with a bigger group. I'll talk more about that at the end. But yeah, I'm not going to go as into depth in how to play this one. I'm going to kind of talk about maybe the differences between this one and the original Encore. So if you don't know how to play Encore already, I would recommend watching that video first because I'll kind of just talk about some of the differences between this one and Encore. But this is a great advanced version of Encore, and let me show you how it plays. As I said, I'm going to be teaching Bravo. And this is an expansion to the great roll and write game Encore. Well, it's not so much an expansion as a whole standalone separate game. It's basically kind of the advanced version of Encore. Now, I'm not going to be giving the full description on how to play this because this basically plays the same way as Encore, but with some additional rules, some additional complexities and strategies. So if you don't already know how to play Encore, I suggest you go back and watch my video talking about Encore. Because for this, I'm basically just going to talk about the differences. So first and foremost, you'll notice it's a different board. And an important distinction is there's some extra stuff. There's this special die at the bottom. There's all these hearts. There's now also bonuses for rows and not just columns. You see there's an extra die. There's the same 6 dice that you get in Encore, the 3 number dice with 1 to 5 and a wild, the same color dice with the 5 colors and a wild, right? But then there's the special die, and the special die has 2 sides with a heart. It has what I call the Utah shape. I'll talk about that. It has a bomb. It has mark 3 in a row, and it has 2 stars. I'll talk about what all those different special abilities mean and how they work, okay? But basically, this game plays the exact same way as Encore in terms of a round is played by beginning with the start play. We'll take all 7 dice now because there's the 6 dice plus the special die, and they roll them, okay? And just like in the regular game, they will start by taking a color and a number combination, or they can pick the special die. I'll come back to that in just a moment. For instance, they could say, black or green 5, and then you'd mark off things on your board. All other players can choose from the remaining dice. Same as Encore, right? Same thing. One important distinction and difference is if you choose the special die, you choose that and that alone. You don't pair that with another die. Okay? So if the active player chooses the special die, then the other players can choose between all 6 of the color number dice. Okay, to make a combination amongst those. If the active player chooses a color number combination, then all the other players can then also have the option of choosing the special die. Okay, so that's it plays the same way. And again, the same thing, whatever the active player takes is off limits, is set aside, and is off limits to everybody else, with the exception of those first 3 turns, right? So all that is the exact same, okay? Okay, I want to insert this little section here just to clarify about the special die. In just a moment, you're going to see me give a little bit of a run through about all the different special die faces and what they do for you. But one thing that I didn't maybe possibly make as clear as I could have in what you'll see in just a moment here is that another way the special die lets you break the normal rules is that you do not have to use the full amount of what the special die lets you do. Okay, and what do I mean by that? Well, if you remember, in regular Encore, anytime you make a color number combination, you always have to do the full amount of whatever number die you take. That's why the the wild was so valuable because you had flexibility. You typically always had to do the full amount, okay? Well, that's one thing that the special die lets you break, another one of those rules. For instance, I'll talk about the bomb in just a moment. It lets you mark off a 2x2 grid. You don't have to mark the full 4 boxes. You can mark less and still use it. The 3 in a row ability that I'll mention, it lets you mark up to 3 in a row. You do not have to mark the full 3. You can still do this using just 1 or 2. Same thing with the 2 stars. You do not have to mark 2 stars. If you only have 1 star left, you can still use this ability. Okay, so in addition to what I'm just going to explain in just a moment here, another one of those rule-breaking abilities for the special die is you do not have to use the full amount. Okay, it's up to that limit. You can do less. So that's a really important clarification that I wanted to mention with what you're about to see. Thanks. Okay, let's talk about the special die for a minute. Okay, first and foremost, you'll notice along the bottom of the board here is basically the special die use tracker, if you will. Okay, you'll see that the board comes pre-printed with one use of the die circled. Okay, that means we can use the special die one time. Once I use it, I mark off that I've already used it. Once I've done that, I can no longer use the special die until I unlock another use of the die. And you'll notice throughout the board, there's little pictures of the die. Basically, when I mark off those spaces, the same way that you can mark off stars and other things, if I ever mark off a picture of the die, I would circle, hey, I just got another use of the die. You see here in column H, the center column, when you complete that column, in addition to scoring points, you see there's the die in the background. Hey, if I complete this column H, I can circle another use of the special die. There's also, like I mentioned up top, there's rows that we can complete. We can score points and get bonuses for being the first to complete rows. You see a couple of the rows also have the special die. So that's how you unlock additional uses of the special die. Okay, so again, you cannot use it unless you have a use available to you. And again, once you use it, you mark it off. Okay, so that's how you can use it. So what do the different special die faces mean? What do they do for you? Well, let's talk first about the heart. That's the most common. You see that one on the die twice, front and back of the die here, for instance. Okay, whenever you use the special die to get a heart, of course, first of all, I have to mark off that I've used the special die, and then you would simply circle the next available heart. Okay, that's all you do. Simple as that, right? Well, what does that mean? What does a heart do for me? Well, you'll notice at the bottom of all these columns, there's a little picture of a little heart, okay? There's the typical points you can score if you're the first person or anybody else later in the game. You can get the higher points or the lower points for completing columns. Same as how it works in Encore. But below that, you see also there's a picture of a little heart, okay? Anytime you complete a column, so let's say maybe I completed this center column. I was the first one to do that. So, of course, I'm going to circle that I got the higher points. All other players, of course, would mark that off, and the best they could do is not score anything. However, you also see that's another use of the special die. Okay, so I would first and foremost circle that I'm going to be able to use the special die again. Okay, but now that I've completed a column, I immediately, in addition to scoring the points, there's the heart there. You immediately look to what is my current value of heart, okay, or hearts if you have multiple. Right now, I have 1 heart. So as a bonus, I will score 1 point because I have 1 heart. Okay. Later on, maybe I roll a heart again and I choose to spend the special die that I gained to get another heart. Then perhaps, later on in the game, I complete another column here. So I'm going to circle, hey, I got column G. Now I look, okay, I just completed a column. What is my current heart value? Oh, it's 2. So right now I get 2 bonus points. Okay. So the moment you complete a column, you look, what are my hearts worth? Okay. And you're going to basically take the highest value that you've managed to circle, and you would immediately add that as bonus points for every single column you complete thereafter for the rest of the game. Okay. And it does max out at 5. Once you've had 5 hearts, you can go no further. But you can get, if you really push hearts hard, you can get a ton of bonus points, for completing columns. So that's a really fun additional way to play, a good use of the special die. That's how the hearts work. And again, there's 2 instances of the heart on the die. Okay. All right. Now let's talk about the bomb. Okay. The bomb is one of those rule breakers in terms of adjacency, and also in terms of marking off everything in one color, right? Because typically in the regular game, you pick a color number combination, and I have to mark off everything in that one color, and I can't split it between multiple boxes, right? Well, what the bomb does for you, and again, in order to be able to use it, I have to have a use of the special die. So let's say I'm using a special die, and this time I'm going to take the bomb. Okay, what the bomb lets you do is immediately mark off anywhere on your grid. It does not have to be adjacent to anything else you've already marked. I can put immediately a 2x2 box that I just blew up with that bomb. For instance, I could say, I'm gonna do this 2x2 grid over here. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So boom, the bomb blows up. You just do a 2x2 little square anywhere that you want on your grid. Again, it does not have to be adjacent the moment you mark it off. And yes, look, I've covered 3 different colors in that one turn and multiple different blocks of blue, you know, stuff that's not normally connected. Things that you normally could not do with the regular dice with color number combinations. The bomb lets you break all those rules and just do a 2x2 box anywhere, okay? And oh, by the way, I checked off another use of the special die, you know, so I would circle that, right? So that's how the bomb works. It is important to note, maybe later on in the game, maybe I have something like this. You know, I've got a bunch of stuff done, and I would really like to get, maybe I've already got all the rest of these columns completed, and I'm just missing those ones, right? And I'd like to get that star, and I'd also like to, you know, get the rest of that column done. So maybe I want to use a bomb. So I mark off that I'm going to use a bomb, and this is the 2x2 grid that I would like to mark off with a bomb, right? You'll see one of those squares is already marked off. That, again, is okay. That is allowed. Typically, you know, with all the other uses of the dice, you have to mark off the exact amount. You do not have to mark off all 4 boxes. You basically just mark off what is available in a 2x2 footprint. So this is a perfectly acceptable use of a bomb. I could mark off those. So you could potentially end up marking off less than 4 squares, but the most you could ever do is a 2x2 footprint, if you will, okay? And oh, by the way, if I were to do that and all those other boxes were marked, hey, I would just circle, hey, I just completed 2 rows, and I would get the row bonuses for doing that. So I would get, hey, I get another use of the die, and oh, I just unlocked another bomb. And all these bonuses, they happen immediately, okay? So again, I circle the die I can use later, and the bomb, I immediately get to blow up another bomb somewhere. Maybe I want to come over here, boom. So I do that 2x2 grid, and that gets me another use of the special die. So something like that. So the bomb, it lets you break those adjacency rules, break the everything in one color box rule, okay? And again, you don't have to mark off 4 squares. If there's something already blocked off, you can still use that 2x2 space. It's just kind of one of those cool rule-breaking abilities. That's how the bomb works, okay? And again, once you've blown up a bomb, now I have marked off squares, so now I could build adjacent to there. So using a bomb early in the game, it could immediately get you right to the edges of your board to start working on those more valuable point columns. All right, so that's one way you can possibly use a bomb, okay? So now let's talk about this 3 boxes in 1 row, okay? This is specifically a row, not a column, okay? It's always talking about horizontal rows. What this lets you do is you mark off any 3 boxes in 1 row. I should rephrase. Not any 3 boxes. Again, you do have to follow the rules of adjacency. The boxes that you do mark have to already be adjacent to something else. It's not the same in that regard as the bomb, how you can just go wherever you want. When you use the 3 in 1 row ability, they all do have to be adjacent to something, but they do not have to be adjacent to each other. Okay, so using this ability can really help you complete one of those rows. So maybe, for instance, earlier on, maybe I was looking something like this, right? And I'm like, oh, dang it, I can't quite get that row. I've got a green box here and a blue box here and a blue box here. But hey, if I use this ability, I mark off again. I mark off that I'm using this special die, and now I can mark off 3 boxes in 1 row. Okay, so I'm going to be looking at row S. Okay, here's one of those boxes, here's one of those boxes, here's one of those boxes. You see, they are adjacent to other things that I've already marked. They're not adjacent to each other. That doesn't matter. This lets you mark off 3 boxes in 1 horizontal row. And I can totally do that. Boom, boom, boom. You see, I got another use of the special die. And oh, I just completed a row. So I would score the points and immediately get a bonus of marking off a bomb somewhere. So maybe I want to blow up a bomb down here. Boom. And I got another use of the special die. Right? So you can chain react, these abilities to really make it work more beneficially for you. But this 3 in 1 row, those are great abilities to use to finalize and get those rows, especially when you got disparate boxes, way apart from each other. Again, they have to be adjacent to something else already marked, but they don't have to be adjacent to each other. Okay, so that's how that one works. Okay, Now let's talk about the 2-star, okay? In order, again, to use the die, I'm gonna say this every time, you have to be able to mark off an available use of the special die, okay? What that simply lets you do is mark off any 2 stars on your board that are adjacent to other things I've already marked, okay? Again, that adjacency rule does matter, okay? They don't have to be adjacent to each other, once again, okay? Those 2 stars can be wherever you want as long as they're adjacent to something else. But remember, every star that's unchecked is -2 points, okay? So this could give you a quick 4-point score, in other words, right? Instead of losing 4 points, you're gonna get those 4 points back, right? So using this, I could, for instance, maybe make this star in red go away and this star in yellow go away. That's adjacent to something I've marked. That's adjacent to something I've marked. That's good. Again, they're not adjacent to each other, but it doesn't matter, okay? The 2 stars let you mark off 2 stars on your board, wherever you want, as long as they're adjacent to something, okay? So that's how that one works. And then the final one, what I always call the Utah piece, shaped like the state of Utah. Jokingly, I always say that, okay? To fully illustrate, let me erase. Let's just say I didn't have that one. Okay, this is perhaps my favorite of the special abilities, okay? If you remember back in the regular game, in regular Encore, okay, whenever you take like a color number combination, if I choose to use a wild, the biggest it can ever get is 5, right? I can never do 6. I can never make the wild a 6. And so those boxes where there's, or those, those spaces on your board where there's 6 boxes of a single color, those always take at least 2 turns to fill in, right? That's where this die comes in. This breaks that rule, and this basically says any one box on your, one box meaning a box of adjacent colors, right? Adjacent squares of the same color. This lets you fill in any one shape on your board. And yes, that does apply to size 6 shapes, okay? So that is the big rule breaker that you cannot do in the regular Encore. So with this, again, I would mark, I'm using the special die, and I could do this, for instance. Again, you have to start, it has to be adjacent to something you already have done. But again, I could either start from here or from here because I'm adjacent. But I can mark off here, look, this red one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? With the Utah, I can mark off all 6 of those boxes on one turn because I'm marking off that entire shape, okay? So that's a really cool special power. And again, I unlocked another use of the special die, right? So this is super beneficial to get those big size 6 shapes, but remember, it can mark off any size shape. It just, all of the boxes in one contiguous shape, right? So maybe close to the end of the game, what you roll doesn't quite fit to, maybe you're working on getting that other color bonus and you need maybe I just need a size 2 or even just a size 1. It doesn't matter. This lets you fill in all the boxes of one contiguous color shape. So let's say I could use that die to say, you know what, I just really need maybe, let's say maybe I already had these yellows here and these were all filled in. Maybe the only thing I needed was that one yellow over there. Let's say it was adjacent, okay? So maybe I really want to get that yellow color bonus. And so by using the special die, I can mark off all the boxes in one shape. Well, in this instance, maybe that one shape is just a size 1 yellow box. I can still do that. This lets you fill in anything from a size 1 box to a size 6 box, okay? That just completely fills in one shape, wherever it is on your board, as long as it's adjacent to something. And those are the different uses of the special die, okay? Again, reminder, the hearts, you just circle the next heart, and then anytime you complete another row, I just got row F, or column rather, I just got column F, so I'm gonna circle the points, and my heart value is currently 3, so I get 3 bonus points for my hearts. So that's how the hearts work. The bomb, just do that 2x2 grid anywhere. And again, if something is already taken, maybe I really wanna mark off this 2x2 grid, because maybe I wanna complete these rows K and L. Even though those 2 boxes are already used, I can still use a bomb for that 2x2 footprint, okay? So then I would get the bonuses for those columns. And again, my heart value is 3, right? So the bomb lets you just blow something up wherever you want. Then again, the 3 in 1 row, again, I could do one over here and one over here and one over here. As long as they're in the same row and adjacent to something, they can be wherever they want. The 2 stars, mark off 2 stars you haven't done yet, a star there, and I think that's another star that I hadn't done yet. And then again, the all of one shape is, I still think that's my favorite of the special die faces, okay? So that's how the special die faces work. And I wanna also point out, if you look closely at the scoreboard here, everything is gonna score the same. Of course, we're gonna get points for the color bonuses. I just talked about, hey, I got all my yellows, right? So I got the yellow color bonus. So I score points, maybe I got 5 points for color bonuses. You're also gonna score your columns, like usual. And so I'd say 2, 4, 6, 8, 11. So I got 11 points for columns. Then you score your rows P through V, right? I got 5, 10, 15, right? So I got 15 points for my rows. Then what did I score in hearts? Well, look down here at the bottom. You can see I got 3, 5, 6, 9, 12. So I got 12 points in hearts, okay? Leftover unused wilds. One other distinction, in this game, you see there's only 6 wilds. The regular Encore has 8 wilds. This time you only get 6. You have fewer wilds, you gotta use them more sparingly. But every leftover unused wild is a point, so I have 6 unused wilds. And then the other big difference is every circled but unused instance of being able to use the special die is worth 2 points. Okay, so I have one that I circled but I didn't use yet, so that would be another 2 points. And again, stars are still minus 2 points like usual. I filled all of them in and checked them all off so I don't lose any points there. Add it all up, and that's how this game plays. Okay, I want to provide just a little bit of clarification on how the rows score, because there is a slight difference from the columns. If you remember in regular Encore, when somebody completes a column, the first one to do it is going to announce it, hey, I got column G, they'll get the higher points. Everybody else will mark that off. Everybody else can score that lower point value, but only the first one gets the higher points. So maybe with column F, maybe Allie got it before me, right? So she had already scored the higher points. I can just get the lower points. That's still the same. The one difference here, of course, is with the hearts. Maybe I'm going to get a chance to score heart bonuses as well, okay? So for the most part, again, with the exception of the hearts, column scoring is the exact same. Row scoring is a little bit different, okay? So with columns and with color bonuses, everybody at the table can score that lower point value, okay? The 3 points for color bonuses or the lower number on the columns, okay? The equivalent of that lower point value that everybody can score is the 5 points for every row. So everybody at the table can score those 5 points, okay? However, the bonus for getting it first, typically the bonus is you score more points, okay, for columns and for colors, okay? However, for rows, the bonus for being the first one to do it, in addition to scoring the 5 points that everybody else gets, so let's say, maybe I was the first one to get this top column P, right? I get all those boxes checked, okay? So I'm the first one to do it, okay? I will, of course, score the 5 points, just like everybody else would score it if they do it later in the game. But for being the first one, I also get the bonus, okay? So that's an important distinction. Typically, you're only going to score more or less points, right, for columns or for colors. Everybody is going to score the 5 points if they do a row, sorry. Everybody's going to get the 5 points for the row. The first one to do it is going to get the special bonus, okay? So in this case, Allie would say, you know what? That's what's unavailable to me. Travis got it first, so he took the special die. If she gets it later on, she can still get the 5 points, but she won't get the bonus. That's kind of the equivalent of, hey, Travis got column G, so she marks off that column G is unavailable, so if she gets it later, she gets it, right? Or she got, column F first, so then when I got it, I had to mark it off and so on. The same way that you would mark off the higher point value, what you would mark off for the rows is, so if I also got this column Q, row Q, I apologize, I keep saying column, I would get, again, the 5 points, and I would get the bomb. Allie would mark off, dang it, he beat me to it. He got the bonus, okay? So it's not a higher point value or lesser point value, it's the points plus a bonus. That's the distinction for the row, getting a row done first. Everybody will score the 5 points, but only the first one will get the bonus as well. I want to provide one last additional clarification. If you ever complete multiple rows and columns at the same time, say for instance, I use a special die to take a bomb. Boom, I mark off that I'm using the special die. I'm going to do a bomb. Hey, look, here's a perfect 2x2 grid, which that will complete columns D and E as well as rows U and V, right? I've got everything else marked off. So in the instance where you complete rows and columns at the same time, it says, first of all, you get row bonuses first, and then you would score the columns. And that's important in this case because, hey, if you look for row U, I would get another heart. So then my heart would increase to 3, right? I'd get another bomb. The bomb is not going to impact the scoring of these two, right? But that extra heart, so I would score that row first and get the bonus. And now when I score these columns, I'm going to get the points, and now my heart value is at 3, okay? So again, if you get rows and columns done at the same time, get the row bonus first and then score the column. Okay, really quick, I want to talk about the one minor difference in the solitaire mode for Bravo versus the regular Encore. Once again, you would only use 2 pairs of dice instead of all 3 pairs of dice. You still will, of course, use a special die. So that's all still the same. You still are going to basically take the normal 30 turns where, again, roll the dice, pick a color number combination, right? Then mark off, whatever you mark. So maybe I do a blue 4, right? So I mark off blue 4 and I show, hey, that was turn number 1, right? And then go again, turn number 2. Maybe I want to say, you know what? I'm going to use a bomb to go over here. So I'm going to use the special die and I'm going to go, boom. I blow up a bomb, right? That's turn number 2. That's still all the same, right? You're tracking your 30 turns by marking off each time. Again, you can use either the special die or the regular dice, color number combination, just like I just described. The one difference is in regular Encore solitaire mode, you always take the flat 30 turns. So it is possible to get multiple, more than just 2 color bonuses. You could get 3 or even 4. I don't know if it's possible. Maybe you could even get all 5 color bonuses if you're a really skilled player. Okay, but the length of a solitaire game in regular Encore is 30 turns regardless. Okay, in Bravo solitaire mode, you will play the 30 turns or when you get 2 color bonuses, just like the regular game. Okay, the game still ends. This is still what triggers the end of the game, just like regular Encore, is when one player circles 2 color bonuses. So maybe I got my green and my blue color bonuses. That would trigger the end of the game. So maybe I'd gone all the way up to this far. I'd gone all the way up and I was that far. So I would have had 3 turns left. I would have had the turn there and then those other 2 turns, right? So I was 3 turns shy. I'd only taken 27 of my 30 turns by the time I got my second color bonus, okay? In Bravo, in this game, the solitaire mode, the game will end when you get your second color bonus, just like the regular game, the multiplayer game. However, then what you would do is every unused turn will get you 2 extra points, okay? So if I ended the game after just 27 turns, it would end. I would add up my normal score, just like always, color bonuses, column, row bonuses, heart bonuses, unused wilds, unused special dice, subtract the hearts, all that is still the same, but then plus 2 points for every turn you didn't do. So there, I had 3 turns remaining, so then I would add an extra 6 points to my score. So that's the one difference between Bravo solitaire mode versus Encore solitaire mode. Other than that, and of course the differences that come with the special die, other than that, it plays the exact same. So that's Bravo. As you can see, it's basically just the original game, Encore, but it's taken up to an 11, right? It just has so much more going on, being able to score for rows as well as columns, getting that special die with the power, scoring hearts, getting extra points for every single column. That bomb to break the adjacency rule. There's so many other little twists and options. This is definitely our favorite way to play the game. Typically, we don't introduce people to this. We introduce them to the base game and let them kind of get the concepts first of all, and then we'll switch them to this. But hopefully this video answers your questions in terms of what's the difference and how do I play this. Hopefully this has explained it well enough. If not, I didn't do a good job. But yeah, this is again, like I said, this is like our most played game. We love this game. There's a great app for this, like I said up front. Highly recommend it if you get a chance to download it and play it. But and like I said in the original video for Encore, we have played this with more than just 6 players. I get it. I understand the limit is basically, it revolves around being able to have your turn as the active player, the one who rolls and chooses which die first before the other players. If you play with more players, you don't get to do that as often. But I think it's still doable, So it's a little bit different than the regular game, but we've still had fun with it. So it's definitely something you could think about, maybe house rule, play it that way. Again, I'm not saying the designers were dumb for doing it the way they did. I totally understand why. But we have played with it with the bigger groups, and I think it still works. But it's a game that we love. Hopefully this explains it well enough for you to sit down and play it yourself. Let me know if you have any comments or questions, and let me know if there's something you want me to cover. I appreciate your time. Give me a like and a subscribe if you're so inclined. And again, Travis Monson with Once Upon a Board Game. Thanks.